What's going on YouTube? Bandit here, back again with my wizard. Today is going to be my first build video, and I'm excited to show you this build because it does a shit ton of damage, and I'm confident that you'll have fun using it. When I first started playing Diablo, I never used the Hydra. I didn't see myself ever using the Hydra. I thought it was kind of stupid, quite frankly. And I'm a believer now, and I'm going to be showing you in this video a couple key pieces of gear and the skills and the spells that you're going to be using that complement the use of the Hydra nicely. And before we get into all that, just let me show you real quick what kind of damage my character is doing at its current level. I'm at about 807,000 without buffs, and with buffs I'm sitting at about 1.1 million. Just thought I would show you that so you could kind of compare it to what your characters do on your accounts. Now, the first piece of gear we're going to be talking about that complements the Hydra nicely is this here Serpent Sparker wand. This is the wand I have been foolishly trying to replace in my Rift Adventure videos. I realize now that this wand is badass, and I do not want to replace it ever. The only thing I want to replace it with is a Serpent Sparker that's even better than this, if that's even possible. But this is going to be my main wand for a while. I know people who have been playing this game since it came out, and they don't even have Serpent Sparker wands. So it was a good find for me, and I'm going to hang on to it as long as I can. The main ability that's important, the reason why it complements the Hydra nicely is for the ability it has to have one extra Hydra at a time active, and if you ask me, two is better than one, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the ways you can use the two Hydras a little bit later on. So Serpent Sparker is the first piece of gear. Now the second piece of gear you're going to need that works nicely with the Hydra are these here Tasker and Theo gloves. I was running a Rift the other night with J-How. I was nice enough to get these as a gift from him. We were talking about these gloves and this build in particular, and he said I definitely need to look for a pair of these for this build to try it out. And I don't know what happened. I think we were fighting in a lead, or maybe came across a chest, and he was like, oh, I found some Tasker and Theo gloves and I'm giving them to you. So thanks to J-How for these gloves. The main thing about these gloves that complement them with the Hydra is their increased attack speed of the pets by 47%, and that's pretty significant, and one of the reasons why the two Hydras together are so beastly. I've also got a nice crit hit chance, almost perfect, of 9%. So that, coupled with the wand, make a nice pairing for the Hydras. We'll go ahead and move on to the third piece that will complement not only the Hydra, but the, I guess, overall fire build of my wizard. The Mirror Ball Legendary Source will be the third piece of gear we're looking at. I was lucky enough to get this from Kadala last night. Its main special magic property is that it fires one extra magic missile. It can fire two extra magic missiles, but I, however, was not lucky enough to get that one, so I will take this one, and keep looking out for that one with the extra magic missile. But for now, this is good, and if you use this with the fire rune with the magic missile, that's just extra damage that you're doing, and that's always lovely. And something else that complements the fire build as well is my Storm Crow. I've been rocking this Storm Crow like crazy. I love it. I love the way it looks. I love everything about it. It also has a 32% chance to cast a fiery ball, so there's going to be a lot of fire damage coming at these guys. And we're going to be doing a ton of damage with this. Let me go ahead and get into what skills and spells and all that good stuff that I'm using that will further better the build for my wizard. And these are going to be the skills that you're going to use to make this build the best it can be. For your primary, we're going to use the magic missile with the Conflagrate rune. And if you remember, I've got that mirror ball, so instead of one magic missile, fiery magic missile, we're going to have two fiery magic missiles. So that's awesome. And then we're going to go over to the Hydra, which is the main focus of the build. And with the Hydra, we're going to be running the Mammoth Hydra rune. So we're just going to have two beastly Mammoth Hydras just popping enemies left and right, thanks to our Serpent Sparker wand. For our action bar skills, we're going to be using the Familiar with the Spark Flint, more fire damage. We've got the magic weapon. Now I know alternatively, instead of the force weapon rune, you could probably use Ignite for the fire damage as well, but I'm going to stick with this just because it gives me more damage per second. And then energy armor with pinpoint barrier, and for black hole we're going to be using the spell steal rune with that. And for passes, I'm running with Blur, Elemental Exposure, Conflagration, and Prodigy. The two middle ones, obviously, for that increased elemental and fire damage as well. Now, since you've got two different Hydras, there's a couple different ways that you can play with them. The way I find to be most effective is if you concentrate their fire on something. That's when the black hole comes in handy, because you can come across a big group of demons or baddies, and you group them all up, and then you just spawn the Hydras pretty much right on top of them or on either side of them, and they will really lay waste in just a few seconds to some bad guys. Even on Torment 3, I was able to throw up some double Hydras and just run like crazy 8s around them, the crazy 8 formation around them, and the demons were chasing you through their fire trails, and it was just melting them. So that's one way. Another way too is if you feel comfortable, you know, not without having two Hydras kind of guarding you, you can always, you know, use one for you and kind of lend one to a teammate, a buddy, if you see him. If you guys are separated, aren't fighting the good fight together, say, hey buddy, I'll go ahead and lend you one of my Hydras just to help out. But just keep in mind that they are going to attack whatever is closest to them. So again, I'll say try to group them up, or run with somebody that can group them up the best you can, and just place them as close to the grouping as you can, and they'll tons of damage. I'm telling you, you'll have fun with it. The only thing that I didn't really like about the Hydras, which isn't really a problem or a flaw or anything, it's just personal preference, is the fact that you know, nothing really attacks the Hydras at all. You can kind of sneak up on enemies, spawn them, you know, down range where the enemies are, but they will zero in on you and come immediately to attack you, and you have to respawn the Hydras anyways. It would be cool to see maybe a patch where they do attack. Maybe only a certain number of bad guys can attack the Hydras, and they do have a health limit. So, and they hardly cost anything arcane wise to spawn. So I would feel comfortable and I would feel good about, you know, if they were to get defeated by a demon, you know, respawning them and making it. I think it could be effective and work that way. You know, that's just wishful thinking. Just, you know, that's just me being negative about it. There's really nothing negative about this setup at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with some clips and some footage. Have some riffs I've done and some kind of solo things I've done just to showcase what the Hydra can do alone and with a group of people. So enjoy that. Go ahead and give it a like if you like the video, and subscribe. And I'm on Diablo playing all the time, so if you guys want to hop on Diablo and run with me, I play with JHow a lot too. I'll go ahead and put the link for his channel in the description below. Go check him out. He does a lot of build videos for various characters as well. So anyways, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all stay beastin'. Peace out. See you next time.
To my gigantic features, you should know it's all just relative, cause I get to live, and if I die, it's different. If my time is coming, then I'll fight the system, alright. The way these sips slip right through both my lips, it makes me bigger than Godzilla and Joan Holloway's tits. So you can join the roster, but just stay on the shelf. Beefy is so fucking big, he is a team by himself. I wanna be all alone, I don't need anyone else, because I'm so fucking big. I want to be on my own. cause I know about the game, but I don't care about my fitness. I might as well be the entire grammar club, spill over into Duke or in Wu-Tang, yo, I would be enough. Assistance is appreciated, but it's not required, so feel free to retire. My solo shit is so desired. Boosh, baby, maybe you should come around another time. 11D against beefy, you know that I'll be quite alright. Don't make me tell you again, I don't require a friend, so please see yourself out, don't let the door hit your rent. Problem with my thyroid, nah man, I think it's a gift. Tell me, tug me if you want to, but you know I'm making it rip. Heed the words that I spit, and no, I don't overlook the irony and the fact that I'm not